All right, guys, welcome back. Silent Wake 5 with a very special demonstration. Today, we're doing our own version of a TV projection demonstration, just like Kenneth Bird over at Black Series Edition, LLC, using his FLE technology on a similarly sized TV-size projection screen setup. The differences are going to become quite apparent as we get into a conversation here. Now, we're using an Epson office style projector here at 3000 lumens. Actually, we're less because we are in eco mode. We're in eco mode here on vivid picture mode with eco mode light output. So we're probably rocking around 2700 lumens as opposed to Kenneth Bird, who uses a large venue projector that has, at minimum, he's used 4300 lumens. At most, he's used 5,000 lumens for a similarly sized TV projection setup. We're not doing that here. We're using considerably less lumens, and we're not using Kenneth Bird's God technology. We're using a small variant of Minister Brother Derricks' God's technology. We're using the Yondu screen, the same one that I provided for him over on his channel right now, which uses the basic concept of his God's technology over on his channel. Now, instead of having a white projection screen behind that, we are using, in reference to Roger's approach over at www.blackseriesedition.com, we're using that aluminum sprayed material. And it's a reflective material, so it's going to shine light when it's on it back through, in theory, back through to the outer surface. It's going to help push some of those lumens back out. Okay? So we're looking at a similarly sized projection screen and I'll put in quotations, TV projection setup. And we're in a little bit of a light room. I've got the windows closed, and let me tell you why. Because Kenneth Bird's garage doesn't have any windows. Kenneth Bird's garage has a very small window on the door. So this idea that that is a high ambient light area is a bunch of nonsense. But we do have our overhead light on in this space. And I do have my door open back in the back of the room. So we're not in complete darkness, and we're in much more light, natural light, than what Kenneth Bird is able to reproduce in his garage. Now, pay attention to the fact that this version of God's technology is providing you no color bleeding, really. And as Derek has said many times on his channel, it's not as good as the white. It's not as good as a really nice gray or silver necessarily. But this is pretty darn good. And some would say, well, you're at a small size and yada yada. We are doing the same exact thing that Kenneth Bird is trying to promote on his channel. But I want you to keep in mind that the Yondu screen is $40. And even if you don't have access to something like the aluminum fabric that I have behind it, you can still use a white surface or white paint, like a gloss white paint on a panel, and basically get the same effect. Or you can use a white sheet or a white standard screen or whatever. You can have something that will, in essence, reflect some light back through the Yondu surface and come out. That's basically what it boils down to. So you may have a white sheet, you may have a white surface, you may already have a white wall that's gloss or semi-gloss already, and all you have to do is put the Yondu screen on the wall and do the same thing for $40, as opposed to if you wanted to do a similar style projection setup like I got here. I'll call it projection TV size demonstration. The least amount you're going to buy from Kenneth Bird is 16 ounces at $150 and some change. Now, for you guys out there in the community who are already familiar with what these demonstrations look like on his channel, you know that you're not seeing the same color bleeding, the same mess, the same dullness that we're seeing over at Kenneth Bird's channel. You're not necessarily seeing that here. I think this little tiny setup would be pretty darn good for some retro gaming gameplay, our video gameplay. I like black screens, me personally, for graphics and for video games, right? That's my preference. But my preference may not be your preference. But here is a substantially cheaper option if you're wanting to do a TV size projection setup. Here's the real God's technology. Don't fall for Kenneth Bird's God-powered technology. Here's a better variant that, to me, based on what I'm seeing here and what I've seen on Kenneth Bird's channel, provides much better picture quality, and it's cheaper. There's a value behind it. Kenneth Bird cannot provide that same value. Not at 16 ounces to do a screen like this. And if I'm not mistaken, when he talked about doing these TV OLED style projection screens, he was wanting to charge people $1,700 because that FLE technology was so damn good. I just showed you a better, cheaper way of doing it. And so has Derrick, and so has other people out here in the space. You want to pay $1,700 for less quality than this? Do you want to spend $1,700 on a screen that's not going to perform, not offer you any value for your money that you've spent? Or would you rather do something like this that's going to cost you around $40? And this is pretty darn good for fabric. I'm used to watching a standard PV style screens or hard surfaces with a coating and stuff like that on it. So my eyes are accustomed to something different. But this is doable if this is what you want. And it's far cheaper. It's far more affordable. And I'm not saying anything that would say, oh, this is completely unwatchable, because it's not. It's all right. And I would certainly sit here and play some Super Mario World or Street Fighter or Star Fox or Zelda or any of that shit. I would play on this very screen right here. I would play it on this screen and I would enjoy it. My kids would enjoy it. And it only cost me $40 for the material. And I can't remember how much the aluminum fabric cost me when I bought it a long while ago. But it was probably right around the same amount of money, maybe a little bit less. So again, in total, I'd be about $60 to $70 rather than $150 on some paint that's going to look absolutely terrible. Let me go into something else here because the ads on YouTube are just absolutely insane. How about that? How about that winter cottage? I'll get up close so you guys can see. Look at the winter cottage on God's technology, TV-sized projection demonstration, just like what Kenneth Bird's been doing on his channel. Check it out. Check it out. Looks a lot more natural. Why isn't it piss yellow? Can you see the snow coming down here? Yep, you sure can. I can see the snow coming down here. Is it dimmer than a white screen? Is it dimmer than what a gray screen would provide? Yeah, it is. That's not why you make that sacrifice. You know, when you go black to a certain extent, you are going to sacrifice a little bit of that white level. You're going to sacrifice a little bit of that luminosity, right? You're going to sacrifice that. But what you gain in theory, is that star field. See? You gain that black performance if that's your thing. If that's what you dig, this is a way cheaper way of doing it rather than buying Kenneth Bird's least amount at 16 ounces for $150. Are you going to sit around and wait for these wallpaper screens for $1,700? Get the fuck out of here. This is way better, way more affordable option for you. Check it out. So now you have two different channels referencing the same approach, the same premise behind Minister Brother Derricks' God's Technology. Check it out. It's the same premise. It's the same thing. You know what Kenny's stuff looks like. You know how it performs. If you've been paying attention, you know the videos. You can go to my community tab on my channel and you can see photographs. You can see photographs. Let me show you the one in particular. Let me show you the one in particular. Where is it at? Right here. Look at this. This demonstration did not look like this. Did not look this good on Kenneth Bird's same projection TV size screen at 4,300 lumens minimum. Do you really want to spend upwards for a specialty wallpaper screen $1,700 to $1,800 and feel like you got a value because you got some LED rope light? Get the fuck out of here. That's nonsense. Here's a different God's Technology that's way more affordable, a lot easier, and gives you better performance for your dollar. I'm showing it to you right now. This is going to kill Kenny. This is going to piss him off. But it has to be done. Because he's living in a delusional state of mind. And he's desperately holding on to this black screen paint thing. And he refuses to acknowledge that this has failed him dramatically. It's dramatically failed him. The Yondu screen is $40. And you'll have a lot more screen. You can literally take that same piece of fabric and make about 4 of these TV projection style screens. I'm doing the same thing that Kenneth Bird has been doing. But instead of using his God Power technology, I'm using Minister Brother Derricks' God's Power technology. And Minister Brother Derricks' God's technology doesn't cost anywhere near the same amount as Kenneth Bird's. At the least amount you can buy, or at worst, that special wallpaper screen, which isn't going to be much bigger than this. For what did he say? Again, anybody listening? $1,700 plus for that? I'll say it again. Get the fuck out of here. That's some bullshit. Here's a way cheaper way of doing it. And I know there's going to be that one guy out there that's going to say, oh, you're just trying to do this, you didn't do that, you blah, 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 blah. If you can do it better and you can do it more honest, then I say do it. Because I want to get something clear. I would like nothing more from a personal human being standpoint than to see Kenneth Bird have that coming to Jesus moment and start making some corrections in his life so that he doesn't have to be embarrassed like this, that he doesn't have to be called out like this, that he can start fixing and mending the things in his life that are terribly out of control right now. I know he's on the run right now. I know he's on the run. I know he's fixing to move. I know he's fixing to hide out. And I would guess that it has to do with all of the emails that have gone to the Allentown police station. That's got him on the run. That's got him moving, switching locations. Where he's going, I don't know. What he's doing, I don't know for sure. But if I had one message for Ken, it's to seriously straighten up, get some help, and start making some actual good business decisions. Instead of trying to make this industry look bad, why don't you learn from it? Why don't you follow the trends, the market trends, and make something that'll work with these projectors that people are actually spending their money on? Maybe you might make a little coin too and get back on your feet. The market is moving to ultra short throw. It has been moving every single year into higher and higher numbers, and better models are coming out. And they're pushing that $1,500 to $2,500 sawtooth ultra short throw screen. Make something that can give you good image quality with those projectors and actually prove it, actually demonstrate that, and then you have something that might make you a little bit of money. Stop pushing this black shit, this black mud paint that isn't working. You're not making any money. You are going backwards and not going forwards. Be honest for a change. Only you can do that. We can call it out when we see it because we've all got those seasoned eyes now. We know what to look for. We know how to analyze you and how to call you out for it. And it ain't one guy doing it. It's a whole bunch of people doing it that all see you and see what you're doing for what it is. It's not because we're bullies. It's not because we're being mean. It's not because we're picking on you. We're looking and protecting the little guy that's trying to get some value for the dollar that he's spending in an investment. Because that's what this is. It's an investment for your family. It's an investment for your entertainment, your downtime, your relaxation, all that stuff. And you're taking advantage of that, and it's got to end. It's got to end, Kenny. Only you can do it. Only you can make that change. I can't do it for you. So as we close out, I want to remind everybody that this is the Yondu screen from Amazon. It's an elastic spandex type material. It's $40. And although you may not have an aluminum sprayed material behind it like I do, you can do the same approach that Brother Derrick does. You might even have the stuff in your linen closet, just like he says. But here's a much cheaper option for a setup and a style of projection that Kenneth Bird is trying to promote in a similarly lit environment. I'll get up close again as we start to fade out and end this conversation. Check it out, guys. Much cheaper option, and in my opinion, performs a lot better for the amount of money that you're going to be spending on this, as opposed to $150 for 16 ounces of the FLE from Kenneth Bird. Hopefully this is of some help to somebody out there who might be looking to do something like this. I don't know. But this is as big a panel as I can make at the moment of this stuff. If you want to see a bigger version of it, go to Brother Derrick's channel, Minister Brother Derrick, and go check out the videos and the demonstrations that he's doing over there to get an idea for a bigger size screen of this same stuff. All right? With that being said, guys, I'm going to hop off here. I got lots to do today. It's my only day off. I'm working a ton of hours at work right now, and I've got a whole plate full of things I need to get taken care of. But I'm glad we take this time today to show you a better alternative for this concept of a TV-style projection screen, as those demonstrations have been shown on Kenneth Bird's channel. Pretty hardcore as of lately. I'm showing you a much cheaper option. I'm showing you a alternative that is going to give you, in my opinion, a better value for your dollar. All right, with that being said, I'm going to hop off here. You guys take care, and we'll catch you later.